This song is stuck in my head and I cannot get it out. Nor do I want to. Hey, hello, how do you do? Shady Doorags here. Encanto. Holy the dongles was I wrong about this movie. When I first saw the trailer, I thought this was gonna be a run-of-the-mill and very forgettable story. At best, I figured it would anger people like Raya did. And quite frankly, I'm still surprised at how good it turned out. I mean, how many stories about being special have we been told?
Everyone's special, Dash. Which is another way of saying no one is.
But sadly, my dear viewer, while I may be the 920th most entertaining person you'll ever see, even I sometimes get things wrong. I know, it seems impossible, but alas, it's true. This movie not only blew up in the eyes of the public, but even I personally fell in love with it. Now that's not to say I think it's flawless or anything. There are plot holes, the story relies way too much on because magic, and the characters' motivations are often questionable. Why are you telling Peppa the secret? You know the weather changes when she gets upset. But even with its warts, I'm more than happy to let today's kids grow up with this movie the same way I grew up with the Disney Renaissance. It may not be perfect, but it does feel groundbreaking with the steps Disney took with it. Now, as a YouTuber, it is my job, nay, my responsibility to talk to you intellectuals about influential media. And if Encanto doesn't fit that bill, I don't know what does. Yep, I'm definitely doing this out of duty and not because Isaac Carlson makes bank on every Encanto video he releases. As always, if I want this video to be good, I'm gonna need a good topic. Hey, off-screen Shady, what should I talk about for Encanto? The songs are really popular, talk about them. Nope, I don't know jack about music, and I cannot risk my reputation of never looking stupid on the internet. There's a lot of mystery in the movie, you can make a theory. Do I look like Matt Pat? You got a lot of nitpicks, right? You can talk about those. What? Everyone loves this movie. Nobody's gonna wanna hear me nitpick it to death. Use your brain for a second. What you yelling at me for? I don't know what people wanna see. Just talk about the moral or something. Oh yeah, talk about the moral of a movie, because that's not the most cliche YouTube video in the world. All right, smart guy, what's your idea? So today we're going to talk about Encanto's moral, how shocking it is, and how it applies to our own lives. We'll get into all that momentarily, but first, a quick recap. After losing her home and her husband, Abuela Madrigal, whom the wiki calls Alma, receives a magic candle that allowed her family to prosper. Through the candle's magic, her family obtained a sentient house, and each of her descendants, when they came of age, received a magical power known as a gift. Decades later, Mirabel Madrigal comes of age, but isn't given a gift by the candle for reasons. As a result, she grows up somewhat of an outcast among her godlike family and just wants to be seen as special as they are. But eventually Mirabel discovers that the magic her family relies on is fading, as is everything that came with it. So she sets out to fix the magic, save her family, and hopefully prove herself as a Madrigal along the way. Now, given that summary, you would think that the lesson of the movie is going to be about how Mirabel is special just the way she is, and she, along with her family, need to realize that. And yeah, that lesson is definitely there, but to my surprise, it isn't the only moral, and I'd even argue it takes a backseat to the other one that's presented. As Mirabel searches for a solution to the family's problem, she has special interactions with a few select members. Let's start with her sisters.
My older sisters, Isabella and Luisa.
In her journey to save the family, Mirabel has two moments where she needs something from one of her sisters. At the beginning of the movie, she needs information from Luisa so she can figure out the next step she needs to take. And just before the climax of the movie, Mirabel needs to embrace Isabella because she was told doing so would save the magic. However, instead of giving her what she asked for, both sisters reveal something about themselves that Mirabel hadn't been aware of. Luisa admits that she's tied her self-worth to her strength, and she's terrified of the magic fading because she's not someone who's supposed to falter. The years of being given more and more responsibility have gradually increased the pressure inside of her to provide, and she's about ready to explode from it all.
Under the surface, I'm pretty sure I'm worthless if I can be of service.
Isabella reveals that just because her life is perfect doesn't mean it's perfect for her. In being what was always expected, she was never allowed to live the life she wants. In fact, she doesn't even know the life she wants. She never tried branching out or experimenting with her wants because that's not something a perfect person would do.
Wanna feel the shiver of something new. I'm so sick of pretty, I want something true, don't you?
Encanto is showing the Madrigals what makes Mirabel special, but it's also teaching her a lesson that's all about empathy.
He said it! He said it!
Luisa and Isabella are both examples of suffering paragons, something I've talked about before. To sum up the concept, this is someone who has achieved a highly regarded image, but they had to give up a lot to obtain and maintain that reputation. Oftentimes with the world being unaware of their sacrifices because it only sees their accomplishments and not what it takes to get there. Mirabel specifically can be counted among those who don't understand a paragon's sacrifice. Because of her position in the family, no one expects Mirabel to be exceptional. And while that certainly comes with its own set of problems, it also means she doesn't understand the opposite lifestyle. She doesn't know what comes with the expectations of perfection. So tell me, dear viewer, how many times have you looked at someone with a lifestyle you envy and prematurely judged them? The wealthy who's just drowning in money, the boss who has an easier job than their subordinates, the sibling who can't seem to do any wrong. Did you ever think to ask them their perspective on things? What's great about Encanto is that through Mirabel's basic journey of trying to fix things for her family, she accidentally starts to fix her family. Though she starts out blind to the rest of the family's perspective, once Mirabel sees that her sisters are suffering, her priorities shift. Saving the magic becomes forgotten in the moment as Mirabel just tries to make Luisa and Isabella feel better. She comforts Luisa, letting her know that at the very least, she thinks her sister is overdoing herself, and encourages Isabella in the new lifestyle she's trying out. The movie makes it clear that this was the right thing to do, and I agree with it. Once Mirabel does these two things, she gets what she set out for in the first place. Luisa confides in her the information about the magic, and Isabella gives her a genuine embrace, strengthening the magic of the candle. In understanding their perspective and focusing on empathizing with them, Mirabel makes her sisters happy. And the happiness of the magical family is the whole point of the movie. Of course, the sisters aren't the only ones with misunderstood perspectives. When the story gets to Bruno, we don't talk about Bruno. When the story gets to Bruno, the black sheep of the family, we learn that even though the town treats him like a mischievous demon, from his perspective, he was outcasted. Everyone thought the worst of him because they only associated him with his bad prophecies and weird behavior, ignoring any good that came out of him.
Yeah, my gift wasn't helping the family, but I love my family, you know?
Now this is an example I think most people already know. There's plenty of media that talks about how powerful wrong misconceptions can be when it comes to outcasts specifically.
Yeah, we're all pretty different. Some are skinny, some are stout.
But the inside is the part that we're supposed to care about.
But what about Alma, the cause of the family strife? If everyone's allowed to get empathy, is she included in that list? Well, all of you have seen the movie 1.5 million times now, so you know the answer to that question. Yes, after the movie is done yelling at her for causing the things she did, even Alma has her perspective displayed and appreciated. Shoot, the movie states directly that the final act needed to fix things is that Mirabel needs to empathize with Alma specifically.
You lost your home. You suffered so much, all alone. So it would never happen again.
And no, this doesn't mean what Alma did was okay. The movie fully acknowledges her actions were wrong, that she was the cause of a lot of strife, and it makes her pay for those actions. But it doesn't do that by making her appear inhumane. She, just like everyone else, had reasons for what she did, as do most antagonists in our own lives. So, is there a typical message in Encanto about how even the seemingly unspecial are actually special? Yes, it was inevitable. But personally, I appreciate the other lesson more. The statement that, be they the one with the supposedly perfect life, the screw up of the family, or the person that caused all the problems, everyone deserves to have their perspective heard, and everyone deserves empathy. This has been Shady Doorags. So long, farewell, have you to say, goodbye.